So now in the previous video we had looked at certain examples. Basically we looked at the basic toolkit that we have to solve the problems, and our toolkit comprised of 11 properties. We had 11 properties of the determinant. Then we had certain strategies that are desirable. For example, getting 2 zeros in some row, taking the factors common, and then identical elements in the same row or column. Identical elements किसी एक रो कॉलम में मिल जाएं, ये एक तरीका होता था. फिर इसके अलावा सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ जो हमेशा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग में होती है वो है ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ द डेटा. दिस अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज दिस विल लीड वे टू द चॉइस ऑफ द अपर स्टेप्स. कौन सा हमें ऑप्शन लेना है, कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी लगानी है, क्यों लगानी है. This entire thing is based on observation. So this has to be like, this is the most important part of any problem solving, how well you observe the data. Now apart from that, you should always keep on updating the toolbox. So another feature that we have to add in our toolbox is you have to learn certain standard determinants. They are very important for problem solving. The first one is called symmetric determinant, and symmetric determinant बोलने का रीज़न क्या होता है कि यदि हम देखें तो दिस इज ए बी सी, एंड इफ वी मूव इन दिस डायरेक्शन द फर्स्ट रो कंटेन्स ए, देन बी, and then C, and then the second row contains, initially we started with A, so now we start with B. So we start with B, then C, then A, and the third row is, we now start with C, then A, then B. So this is called a symmetric determinant, and we have already proved that its value is given by this expression. So you have to learn this determinant. This is very important. This will be particularly useful in matrices. You will come across this determinant a lot in matrices. So it's better to learn its value. It is a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc minus times. Do not forget this minus sign here, right? Then the next one is called Vandermont's determinant. Vandermonde determinant is again, I have written it in third order, but then a standard Vandermonde determinant comes for the nth order. This is defined for nth order. लेकिन IIT syllabus में we have only third order determinants and second order determinants. So we are only confined to the third order Vandermonde determinant, which is 1a square, 1b b square, 1c c square. So every row becomes a GP kind of a thing, a geometric progression, 1a square, 1b b square, 1c c square, and its value is a minus b, b minus c, c minus a. So make sure that every term is positive once, and once it is negative. b यहाँ पे negative है, यहाँ positive है, c यहाँ negative है, यहाँ positive है. So you have to ensure that every term is once positive and once negative, right? So this is the value of the Vandermonde's determinant. And then obviously the third one, the question that you solved yourself, is called King's determinant. Learn this value. हमने देखा था this requires actually 6 to 7 transformations to arrive at this particular stage. So it makes sense that we learn this as a direct formula. So our toolkit will now comprise of 3 standard determinants also. 3 standard determinants. So now, using this toolkit of 11 properties, 3 strategies, and 3 standard determinants, we are now ready to solve some more challenging problems which have actually appeared in JEE, and which are again crucial, or the approach is very significant for the understanding of the chapter. So we now proceed further for the problem solving part. And again, keep in mind that to solve the questions effectively, you have to be very comfortable with these toolkits. I'll recommend that you first learn the determinants, these standard determinants, उनको पहले याद कर लो, and only then proceed further, right? So we now start with the problem solving part. Let's take an example. Now this particular question that we are looking on the screen, this is an actual JEE problem. The question has initially appeared in IIT JEE when JEE was subjective. This is a subjective problem of IT, right? So this, you have to solve this question. Let's see how to solve this question faster. How do the top rankers generally solve it? So what we do is we take n factorial common from the first row, take n plus 1 factorial common from the second row, and we take n plus 2 factorial common from the third row, right? So what we've done is we've taken this common from the first row, this is taken common from the second row, this is taken common from the third row, and as a result of this, our determinant now looks like, determinant now actually becomes 1, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 1. Now look at this property carefully. We know that n factorial is equal to, n factorial can be written as n into n minus 1 factorial. We can write n factorial in this form, right? So, and similarly you can write n plus 2 factorial as n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n factorial. So once we take this n factorial common, we are left with n plus 2, n plus 1. Similarly, the second becomes 1, n plus 2, and then you have n plus 2, n plus 3. The third row becomes, after taking n plus 2 factorial common, 1, n plus 3, n plus 4, n plus 3. So we get this, right? And now you have a standard approach that we get 3 ones in this row, but I use something else. Although आप चाहो तो यहाँ पे you can again go for the conventional approach of R3 minus R2 and then R2 minus R1. You can use it. This is correct, and this is not incorrect. But I'm using something else. I'm illustrating something else. So what I do is I use a transformation. I use C3 as C3 minus C2. So from the third column, we are subtracting the second column. Now let's see what happens. As soon as I do this, I get n factorial, n plus 1 factorial, n plus 2 factorial times 1, 1, 1, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. And when you subtract second column from the third column, observe carefully that you get n plus 1 square, n plus 2 square, n plus 3 square. We get this value. I'll recommend it because what happens is you have n plus 2, n plus 1 from the third column, and from here we subtract n plus 1 from the second column. So if I take n plus 1 common, I get n plus 2 minus 1, which is n plus 1 whole square, right? So this is actually the term which we have written here. Similarly for the other elements. All right, and now the advantage of this is a standard Vandermonde determinant. You get a Vandermonde determinant, and we know its value. We know this value. This value is in fact now this is n factorial, n plus 1 factorial, n plus 2 factorial. This is the value of determinant D into. Now this is, if I call this as A, I call this as B, I call this as C. So this is 1A, A squared, 1B, B squared. This becomes A squared, this becomes B squared, this becomes C squared. So you have its value is equal to A minus B. So you get minus 1, B minus C, and C minus A. So we get D is equal to n factorial, n plus 1 factorial, n plus 2 factorial times 2. Now the question actually requires us to find the value of, this expression, delta upon n factorial cube minus 4. So actually what I require is, the thing I require is d upon n factorial cube minus 4. I want this value, right? We have to prove that this is divisible by n. तो इसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे कि लेट्स डिवाइड दिस विद n factorial cube on both the sides. So we get n factorial, n plus 1 factorial, n plus 2 factorial into 2, and we divide with n factorial cube on both the sides. This gives you d upon n factorial cube is equal to, now n factorial cancels with 1, n factorial will cancel with this one, so you get n factorial square. N plus 1 factorial will also cancel, n plus 1 factorial upon n factorial is again n plus 1, and n plus 2 factorial upon n factorial is n plus 2 n plus 1, right? So this entire expression, the right side now becomes n plus 1 into n plus 2 n plus 1 into 2. So we now simplify this further. You get d upon n factorial cube is equal to, now we multiply this, so we get n square plus 2n plus 1 times 2n plus 4, which is same as 2n cube plus 4n square plus 2n plus 4n square plus 8n plus 4, which is same as 2n cube plus 8n square plus 10n plus 4, right? So therefore the value of d upon n factorial cubed minus 4 is equal to 2n cube plus 8n square plus 10n, and clearly this expression on the right is clearly divisible by, this is divisible by n, and therefore this completes the proof. Alright, so again it's a straightforward question where I use the property, where I use this transformation just for the illustration. Otherwise even this approach is good enough. You can go for this approach also. I'm deliberately using this because I wanted to illustrate that how can I use the standard determinants in solving the questions faster. So let's take one more example. Now. Okay, now this question is again an interesting problem. This has appeared in IIT JEE, and let's see how to solve this one. This is again actual IIT JEE question. So this question is again a previous IIT question, right? So we'll now understand that how do I use this particular problem. So the idea is that you're given that there are 3-digit numbers A28, 3B9, 62C. So for this you need to understand there's something called basis representation of numbers. How do I actually express a number in different bases? I'm not going into the detail of this. This is something more relevant in a chapter called number theory, which is not directly included in IITs. It's part of Olympiads and KVPY. It is not directly included in IIT JEE syllabus, but very frequently they give it some problems, some of the other problems where some concept of number theory is involved. So the basis representation, what does this tell you? What does this tell you is that if you have a number A28 in base 10, then this number can be written as 10 square times A plus 10 into 2 plus 8. Just say for example, suppose we have a number 123. So the value of this number is 1 into 10 square plus 2 into 10 plus 3. So that gives you 100 plus 20 plus 3. I can always express a number in this form. For example, suppose you have maybe a 4-digit number. Let's say you have a number like x. Let's take some numerical value for the better illustration. Let's say a number like 3216. So this number is same as 3 into 10 to the power 3 plus 2 into 10 to the power 2 plus 1 into 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1 plus 6 into 10 to the power 0, which is same as 3000 plus 200 plus 10 plus 6, and this is in fact equal to 3216. Right, so that's how we represent the numbers in base 10. So in this particular problem, we are given three digit numbers. One number is 828. Now the value of this number will be obviously 100A plus 20 plus 8 in basis representation. Similarly, you have 3B9, another 3-digit number. Now the value of this number will be 300 plus 10B plus 9, and you have another 3-digit number which is 62C. So the value of this number is 600 plus 20 plus C. So we have this information, this is given to us, and we are given that these 3-digit numbers are divisible by a fixed integer k. So maybe this first number, this is equal to some lambda times k, this is equal to some mu times k, and this number is, let's say, nu times k, where lambda, mu, nu belong to the set of integers, right? K is given to be integer, k is also given as an integer. The question is, you have to prove that this determinant, this particular determinant, is also divisible by the same integer k. So मुझे प्रूव करना है ये determinant भी k से divisible होगा, and मेरे पास ये information दी हुई है. तो how to start with this question, कैसे शुरू करें इसको? तो well, the secret would be again observation. This will give you the exact clue to crack the problem. So if you observe the determinant very carefully, let's see how do I use this for 100A. Now A appears in this row. So this gives us the motivation that maybe क्या मैं first row को 100 से multiply कर सकता हूँ? Let's see. If I multiply the first row with 100, then I'll get 300 as well. Now that this is interesting because इसको 300 भी मिल रहा है, and similarly I get 600 as well. तो maybe अगर हम first row को 100 से multiply करें तो I'll get these 3 terms. Now let's look at the other one. You have 10B. So 10B is like maybe I multiply the third row with 10, so I get 10B, and then do I get 20 here? So I get 20 also. If I multiply this with 10, I get 20. If I multiply this with 10, I again get this 20. So we are done with these 2 rows. 8, 9C, this particular thing appears straight away here. So now what we do is, let's remove this. So what I do is, I use a transformation. I write R2 as R2 plus 10 times R3 plus 100 times R1. I use this transformation, and as soon as I use this transformation, I get the value of the determinant as delta is equal to, we are not making any change in the first row, so you get A, 3, 6. Second row will obviously change because of the transformation, so we get 100A plus 20 plus 8. Similarly, the next element becomes 300 plus 10B plus 9, and then the third element becomes, let's say I'm writing this 6 slightly on the slightly further so that the writing becomes clear. So the third element now becomes, this third element becomes, we are going for 100 times first row, so you get 600 plus 20 plus C, and we are not making any change in the third column as well. So this is 2B2, and most probably we are done with the situation, because now this simply becomes A36. Now this number, this particular number is nothing but A28. The next number, this one, is 3B9, and the third number becomes 62C, the remaining elements being same. And now we had assumed that this A28 is lambda times K, right? So now I get A36 lambda times K, and then you have mu times K, 3B9 is mu times K, and then you have nu times K, the remaining elements being same in the third row, 2B2. And from here we get K common, A36 lambda mu nu 2B2. And if you, there's no need of expanding this, but a slight observation that if I look at this particular determinant, this determinant contains all integers. All the elements of this, all the entries of this determinant are integers. So therefore, when I expand this, I get K times some integer for sure, because this determinant has all the entries integers. और जब हम determinant को expand करेंगे तो मुझे सिर्फ addition, subtraction, multiplication ही करना पड़ेगा integers का, and whenever I add, subtract or multiply integers, I get an integer. So this determinant is also an integer, definitely, and as a result I get the value of the determinant is K times integer, and therefore it must be divisible by K. Alright, so again I'd like you to look at these examples once yourself, also solve them yourself completely. In case you get stuck up, you can look at the solutions that I have given. There might be other approaches of solving the questions. Again, depend करता है कि आप किस level पे सोचते हो. You might come out with in fact a better approach. जो मैं कर रहा हूँ उससे कुछ और अच्छा कर सकते हैं हम लोग. Always it is always on your imagination. Maths is such a beautiful subject that it always talks about the observation, imagination, intuitions. Once you are good in these three things, intuitions, observation, imagination, you always have a good chance of becoming a good problem solver, right? So in the next video again I'll be solving some questions, and in the meantime you can just solve these questions again yourself. Also revise the properties, revise the strategies, learn the standard determinants, which will be useful.